Welcome into Mavericks today. Harrison Graham and Jeffrey Cooperstein here, and it's a little slow right now, so we thought we'd go through some Mavericks NBA 2K25 ratings, as the game should come out pretty soon. Season just around the corner. Before we do that, Coop, we are on the precipice, the verge.
Good word.
Insert adjective that you seem fit to getting to 30,000 subscribers. Let's make it happen. Let's get there before training camp later this month. Hit that sub button. Let's get to 30K if you guys want us to continue to pump out Mavericks videos.
The Mavs start training camp in less than a month from now, and we're hoping to get to 30K by the season. So please help us out. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be here all throughout the season and hopefully another deep playoff run.
All right, the highest rated player on the Mavs, no surprise, Luka Doncic, a 97 overall. That feels about right. I don't know what the highest player on the game is.
It is 97.
Okay,
he is tied for the top rank with Jokic and Giannis at 97 overall. I think the tiebreaker, so to speak, has Luka at second over Jokic, but I'm going to go ahead and put him first because we're on Mavericks today, not Nuggets today.
Yeah, not Nuggets now. I think this is fair. I think these are the top three players in the league right now. Although I would have Luka and Jokic a slight notch ahead of Giannis at this point, but he has won a title, so he deserves a lot of praise as well. So Luka at 97 overall. I'm a little surprised Kyrie's still in the 90s because the NBA kind of rates harshly sometimes.
Yeah.
And to have him at a 92, I think is pretty high. I would have guessed it would have been 88, 89. So to have him at a 92, they clearly still think he's one of the best players in the league.
I think he is too. I think he's going to have another really good year with the Mavs. He is aging a little bit, and maybe we'll have a little more of a load management season, but I still think he's a very good player, and he is a kind of a 2K legend because of his handles. So I think that goes in his favor as well.
No doubt. Klay Thompson, a 3-point legend in real life and in 2K. Still in the 80s, 81 overall. Probably, I would guess, one of the best 3-point shooters in the game. Defense isn't what it was, but still, if you're playing 2K, he can light it up from 3-point range.
You don't play defense in 2K anyways.
Exactly.
It's all about the score.
Exactly. Dereck Lively, also an 81. I actually think this is well done from 2K because I would have guessed, second-year player, 2K doesn't really watch. Well, I think 81's fair. I think he had a really good rookie year, and he's going to have a better year this year.
Yeah, they gave Dereck Lively an 81. They also gave Daniel Gafford his center counterpart in 81 as well. So the Mavs with 3 81 overall players. I think Lively and Gafford, like we've mentioned over the past couple of shows, they're going to have a really good year as a tandem. And as long as their stats are combining to make like 20 points a night, 12, 13 boards a night, the Mavs are going to be in a really good spot with that center duo.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think it's one of those where Lively's arrow's pointing up. Gafford's is probably sideways. I don't know how much more he's going to improve, but certainly two very excellent players. All right, is Luka the best player in the NBA? 2K's got him tied for the best. What do you guys think? Y for yes or in for no? He's certainly in the conversation, Coop, and we haven't been as vocal this offseason about pushing an MVP narrative, but I would expect him to be in the mix once again.
If he has a good first month, I will be pushing that narrative harder than ever. I just want everybody to know that.
Buckle up, fellas.
Let's go.
All right, PrizePicks. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. Football returned last night, at least in the pro side of things, and basketball's just around the corner. Baseball's ongoing. This is the time to play daily fantasy sports. Create an account today at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get a $50 bonus after you place a $5 entry. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. You're going to get an additional $50, so a little extra to play with there. We got a little 3-player football entry here. More than Dak Prescott's passing yards, 254.5. This week, more than on CeeDee Lamb. Receiving yards 88 is at 83.5, and then Baker Mayfield less than 247.5. Do you think the Bucs could be a regression team this year? PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Again, that code CLNS gets you that $50 bonus after you place $5 on an entry. Get started today. Choose more, choose less. 2 to 6 player entries. All sports available. Pretty simple. Were you a little surprised that P.J. Washington was below the Livelies and the Gaffords of the world.
I'm a little surprised he was below Gafford. I thought Washington would be like an 80 and Gafford maybe a 78. So those got flipped. But Washington being a 79 as your sixth best player on the team is pretty good. It just kind of showcases the Mavs' depth that they have this year. And look, this team is going to be 8 or 9 deep, maybe even 10 deep on any given night. And I think there's a lot of guys that are going to get opportunities. PJ Washington's going to be in this starting lineup as the starting four, and he's going to play a lot of minutes and a lot of heavy minutes for this team going forward.
I do wonder if 2K may have missed the boat here watching Washington's improved defense the second half of last year, because he's never really been known for that. So
right.
Kind of a small sample size, so maybe that's hurting him a little bit here. Naji Marshall, 75, one of the best defensive players on this team. Hoping to be a nice 3-and-D complimentary piece here. I think this is fair, mid-70s. I don't know what Derrick Jones is in the game, but I would guess he's somewhere in this range as well.
I'm interested to see how Naji fits in here and what kind of role that he plays. I think early in the season he's going to be the sixth man where he's the first guy off the bench in that first rotation, and then as the season goes on, I bet Kidd finds a more defined role for him, whether it be him being the seventh or eighth man in the closing lineup, etc. I think that's one of the most underrated storylines for the Mavs this year.
Dante Exum also at a 75. This was pretty interesting. Now, if you're just basing it off his regular season last year, he was a very good role player. So
absolutely.
I think that's more than fair. Obviously, didn't play as well in the playoffs, but if he can replicate or at least come close to what he did in the regular season a year ago, I would expect him to be in the rotation.
Yeah, I think Dante is going to have his opportunities as well. He's going to be competing with Spencer Dinwiddie, who comes in at 74. And I think this is going to be a healthy competition. Hopefully it brings out the best in the both of them. They offer different things. Exum's really going to push the pace on offense. He's more of the athletic guard that's going to get out and run. Whereas Dinwiddie's going to be the more methodical, probably more offensively gifted than Exum is, but Exum's going to be the dog on defense that Kidd relies on. And we know that Jason Kidd values defense over offense, especially if you're a role player. So that may be in Exum's favor.
And that's probably going to get Quentin Grimes on the floor because he's got good defensive prowess. And if he can bounce back after not playing his best last year, then getting hurt, then I think he's going to fit in really well.
Very interested to see where Grimes does fit in after the trade with Tim Hardaway Jr. coming in here. I think he could be one of the Mavs' 5 or 6 most important players, and I could see a scenario where he drops out of the rotation altogether. I think he's probably the biggest wild card on this team right now, where I just don't know what to think one way or another.
Yeah, that's certainly fair to say. Who do you guys think is the most underrated player on the Dallas Mavericks? I might go Dante Exum. I'm not sure people realize how well he actually played last year. So
I like that.
Drop a name in the comments. Maxi Kleber also coming in at a 74. He's probably been about a 74 for the last 4 games.
For his whole life.
If I had to guess. We know what he brings to the table. When he's healthy and confident, he provides 3-point shooting and defense. When he's not confident, you're kind of playing 4-on-5 offensively. So we'll see what Kleber we get this year.
Jaden Hardy at a 73, but I bet he's one of those guys who has like really good offensive stats, who's kind of a 2K legend you can use, and he can score in volume, which is what Hardy is in real life as well. If the Mavs need a spark off the bench, they can turn to Jaden Hardy because they know he can score in volume and he can score quickly.
Think how far this Mavericks roster has come, Coop. This time last offseason, we were talking about him as like a 6th man of the year candidate.
Yeah.
Now, part of that is he just didn't take the proper steps to be that, but the other part is this team is just a lot deeper now.
The roster construction has been fantastic from Nico Harrison, where Jaden Hardy is your 12th man and Dwight Powell's your 13th man. He was your starting center last year for the first half of the season, basically.
Also,
not your starting center, but your backup center who played a lot of minutes.
I'll say it, he should not be a 73.
No, he should be a 67.
High. Yeah, that feels more proper.
We know Dwight Powell's cooked. Thanks for being the longest tenured Mav and being a good guy in the locker room, but no one's using Dwight Powell.
And quite frankly, Omax is probably a little high too. I mean, 72 for a guy who's proven nothing in the NBA. I don't know what's considered super low for NBA's current 2K ratings, but I would have had him in the 60s probably.
Yeah, I mean, he has the potential to grow a lot, so I think that's kind of why they maybe gave him a higher rating than he deserved. But you're right. I mean, he didn't show anything last year to really deserve a rating above 70, so hopefully he can kind of prove the 2K gods and Ronnie 2K right that he deserves a 72.
Shout out Ronnie.
Shout out to Ronnie. I want to see Omax take a really good development step this year, but I think his minutes will be hard to come by in this rotation as it stands right now.
AJ Lawson at a 71. As of filming this, he is still on the team. So we still expect Markieff Morris to return. Maybe by the time you watch this, that is the case.
Markieff expects Markieff to return, so we're just waiting.
Yeah, I mean, at what point do we just get to is he returning?
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk
if
about it.
If it's September 20th and he still hasn't re-signed, I think that's when.
I think if they go to Vegas without him, that's when the alarm bell starts sounding.
Yeah, certainly interesting. All right, getting closer. 2K ratings drop means basketball is almost here. Type me if you're ready for basketball to be back. We'll see you guys next time. Enjoy your weekend.
Peace.